What's going on, guys? Alpha the Wizard back at it with another video. Today we're going to be continuing the meta history of Yu-Gi-Oh! And we're on year of 2007. In the last video I covered Diamond Dupe Turbo, which was probably one of the most prominent decks of this format, but the other competition on the other end of the table was also Demise OTK. This is the first ever ritual deck that was actually tier 1, if you will. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and hop in and give you an idea of how this deck works. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently this time. I'm going to go ahead and start with the weaker monsters, just because they're relatively important. So to start, we do typically only want to play 2 Neobug and 2 Insect Knight. However, I couldn't get my hands on another Insect Knight. The only real difference between them is the attack strength that really matters. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you ever do build this deck. You just want to play 2 Insect Knight and 2 Neobug. But for this profile, I'm just going to be displaying these. So yeah, these are the vanillas, the cards you don't want to draw. And we do have one more vanilla, and that is Metal Armor Bug. Now the reason why we play vanillas is because we do play Advanced Ritual Art. Yes, this card was legal at the time. It did come out around this era, and which is part of the reason why Demise was a very strong strategy. But yeah, so these are the only vanillas you really need. Only having 5 of them should be plenty for you to be consistent and not consistently draw them. Alright, so now moving on to the effect monsters, we do play 3 copies of Doomdozer. The main reason we need to play Doomdozer is just for the sole purpose we're going to be fueling our graveyards with insects relatively quickly with Advanced Ritual Art. And this card is a 2800 beater who can just summon itself for free by banishing 2 insects. So this card is very easily accessible in this deck, and it's so easy to summon. But yeah, so in addition to that, we do play 1 copy of Jinzo, just because Jinzo is very strong in this format. The only deck it's really not good against is Diamond Dupe Turbo, but you can stop their threatening roars, and you know, if they do play Mirror Force. However, Jinzo pretty much is a tech option for every other matchup, because Jinzo is just so good against the meta right now, and that's why pretty much every deck played it. And then moving on to the searchers in the engine of the deck, we have 3 Manju of 10,000 hands. Now we have to play 3 Manju because it's the best one. It can add a ritual monster or a ritual spell, but in addition to Manju, we also play 2 Sonic Bird, because Sonic Bird is the one that can also net us a ritual spell specifically, and then we play 2 Sanju of 1,000 hands, just because this one gets you a ritual monster. So Sonic Bird searches a spell, Sonic Bird searches a spell, Sanju searches a monster, and Manju searches either one. So it's just clearly better. But yeah, so that's really it for these ones. Now, we're just going to go ahead and display the rituals. Now, Demise, King of Armageddon, is the heart and soul of this deck. So basically, how this deck operates, you're trying to set up to OTK your opponent. This card, by paying 2,000 life points, you can destroy all the cards on the field except this card. So what we're looking to set up for is maybe a giant Trunade to clear their back row. And then we can summon Demise relatively easy, and then we pay 2,000 life points, blow up the field, and activate Metamorphosis, and that's going to boost him up by double. Or if we can do this properly, we can Metamorphosis our Demise into an even bigger monster like Cyber Twin Dragon, and then equip that with Metamorphosis and be able to attack twice. So yes, we have to max out on Demise, because Demise is essentially the heart and soul of this deck. So you definitely want to play 3 copies of him. And then moving on to the spell cards, because that's all the monsters that we play in this particular build. We don't need too many monsters, they're all for the engine essentially. We do play 3 Advanced Ritual Art. This card is the bread and butter for Demise. So basically how it works, if you're not familiar, when you activate this card, you can ritual summon any ritual monster that's in your hand by sending normal monsters whose level equal its level. So in this instance, you could just send simply a metal armored bug with advanced ritual art from deck to summon Demise that you searched in your hand from like a Manju or whatever the case may be. Or you could just send 2 vanillas that equal 8 in order to summon Demise. So yeah, this deck is really fun, and it was really powerful at the time. Arguably, probably the best deck, some people would say. And then in addition to advanced ritual art, we do play 2 Megamorph, just because Megamorph is one of the central components of how you're going to boost your monster to go for game, because you are paying 2,000 life points. So ideally your life points should be lower than your opponent's, but also to help out with the Megamorph, sorry, I can't pronounce it because it's foreign, we play Messenger of Peace. So this basically allows us to stall turns until we can set up for our OTK with Giant Trunade and then just go for game. But also we can pay 100 life points each standby phase, so that's going to help fuel our Megamorph. And then, as I previously mentioned, we got to play the Giant Trunade package. It is at 1 at this time, if I remember correctly. And Heavy Storm, because, you know, same purpose as Giant Trunade and same as MST. So Mystical Space Typhoon, these are our clear the field of back row and then try to push for game. And then we do play the 1 copy of Metamorphosis. This card is at 1. So we have to be careful about how we use this. We don't want to use it too early. We're more so trying to stage our deck to go for game. But then just because it's legal, we do play Snatch Steal. For whatever reason, Konami let this card stay legal this format, and we might as well abuse it while it's there because it is a very solid card this format, especially being able to take a big boss monster. And then of course the standard staples of this time, Premature Burial. And then we do play Brain Control, just for obvious reasons. We can Brain Control an opponent's monster and then Metamorphosis it away. And we're also paying life points, helping our Megamorph. And then we do opt to play 1 copy of Scapegoat because we are looking to buy as much time as we can in this deck. And Scapegoat, since it is at 1, you know, we might as well play it because it synergizes pretty well with the strategy. And then last but not least for the spells, we play 1 copy of Swords of Revealing Light. Now Swords is a relatively weak card this format. However, if your opponent cannot clear it, you're just buying yourself more time to OTK basically, because there's not really much they can do if you see, you know, the Giant Trunade and you're able to make a big push. So yeah, that's really it for all the spell cards. Now this deck is really fun, but it's a little bit different than what you might be used to from retro format. And then for the trap cards, we are opting to play 2 copies of Waboku, mainly because we're trying to buy as much time, and Waboku will allow our Sanjus to just stick on the field longer. And then in addition to that, you know, we just want to protect ourselves and we don't want to die too early. And that is also why we play Magic Cylinder, because if we can't make a big push for game, but we can get their life points down low enough, and then they attack us, we can very easily catch them off guard and win the game with Magic Cylinder, because most people aren't playing around this card, this format. So yeah, Magic Cylinder is very good in this deck. And then of course we got to play another staple of this time, Mirror Force. Mirror Force is just a generic blowout card, so we kind of have to play it, especially with there being so many problematic cards in the format. And then since it's legal, we have to play Ring of Destruction, because same principle as Mirror Force. We want to be able to just out like a big problematic card, especially since we're trying to buy as many turns as possible. Plus, Ring kind of inherently synergizes with the strategy of just trying to OTK. And then we do play Gravity Bind, mainly because of Giant Trunade and Heavy Storm. So whenever we want to clear Gravity Bind to go for game, if they don't have an out for this card, we can do this with relatively ease. So yeah, Gravity Bind synergizes really nice with this strategy. And for the extra deck, I'm not going to display the full extra deck. The only card that you're really concerned about making to go for game is Cyber Twin Dragon. This card is the OTK card for the most part, because if you metamorphosis your Demise, this card is going to just go for game, because essentially it can attack twice, and equipped with something like Metamorph or Megamorph, you're just attacking twice for double the attack. So yeah, this card is really insane. So I hope you really enjoyed this profile, and make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. In the next profile, I'm going to be covering Philly Luna's Machine OTK deck of this time. It was another prominent deck, so make sure you stay tuned for the next episode. And with that being said, I will see you in the next one.